Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. A little while ago, I was watching YouTube, and I have a friend, and there's a lot of people that know who he is. His name is Ray Corona. He's a boxing referee. Also, he's done a little bit of acting. He has his own YouTube channel called Third Man in the Ring. So if you don't know who that is, go ahead and check it out. Third Man in the Ring. He's a boxing referee. He interviews a lot of famous referees, boxers, actors, and he just did one, I guess, yesterday or sometime during the week with Emilio Rivera, which I've met him a couple times too in my life. He's a really cool guy. Emilio's a really good guy. He'll like some of the shit that I be posting on Instagram, and I've communicated back and forth with him a couple times through messages on Instagram. He's a real humble guy, real nice dude. But anyways, I guess they did an interview. I haven't seen the whole interview yet, but they had showed like a little clip of the interview, and he's talking about something that I've experienced myself, and that is he's talking about like not showing weakness. When you're a kid, you're taught to you don't cry. He says, if he was told when he was a kid, if you're crying, I'll give you something to cry about. And that's something that I've heard that I would hear a lot when I was a kid. It was this. I used to hear a lot. I used to hear that a lot from my mother, which was like he said, if you did something, you got in trouble, and you cried or whatever, my mother was quick to tell me, if you're gonna cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. My grandmother too. My grandma would say the same thing. You're gonna cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. And which meant you keep crying, whoop your ass. So that's the way that we were raised, hearing that constantly. If you cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. And then the discipline in the home. My father was the person that was mainly doing the disciplining. My mom did it too. I mean, my mom fuck you up quick. But she wasn't as I would say as vicious as my father was when it came to that shit. So this whole video is about weakness. Showing weakness to other people. But it starts when you're a kid. When I was a kid, when I was younger, I remember my uncles and shit. A lot of them were in prison. My grandfather, my uncles, cousins, and I remember they used to send my dad things from prison. Some of them were like clocks. They were made out of like a piece of a tree stump, a piece of wood. They sand them down. They put the numbers and the dial and all that shit on it. Put a little battery and everything in the back. They sand them down, varnish, stain, whatever. They do all this shit to them, and they would send them home to my dad. So we had quite a few of these fucking clocks in my house. But they'd also send him leather belts. Some of my uncles and shit and cousins would make belts out of leather and really nice belts too. I remember my dad had this one belt. It was probably like that wide, and it was braided, probably like 8 braids going across. There's just a braided belt, and then on the edges it was braided. It was looped, like braided all the way to the ends. It was a thick fucking belt like that. And we get our ass whipped with that fucking belt. Now, if you've never been hit with a fucking braided belt, it's worse than getting hit with a regular leather belt. This is a leather belt, but it's braided. It is fucking thick, and it hurts. So as a kid, you're gonna get that fucking belt. If that belt was busted out on you, you're gonna go through some fucking pain with that fucking thing. But I remember, when I would get in trouble, which is, well, I wasn't really in trouble, but when discipline was being handed out to me, you know, you'd always hear that shit. Don't cry. Don't cry. If you cry, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit more. You're gonna get hit this many times. You cry, I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna add more. If you flinch, I'm gonna add more. So it was. You had to learn to not be weak. Same thing with my mother when it came to like, if you cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. It's like, toughen up. Don't fucking cry. No matter what the situation is, don't cry. I'm gonna give you something to cry about if you cry. So, you know, but you know, you're getting hit with a fucking thick ass belt when you're 7, 8 years old. You know, you have to learn to not fucking cry, not to show weakness, and that shit will carry on with you through your life. You know what I mean? Where either you're doing it to your own kids or you're just taking it through life. You know what I mean? Like, don't show weakness to nobody. Whether it's to other men, don't show weakness, or to your woman, don't show weakness, because you know when you show weakness and you act weak, you know it's like people will take advantage of you if you do that. Don't show weakness to them, and so you go through life living that way, and everything that you go through, all the bad shit. It could even be good shit. You know what I mean? It could be something so good. I mean, there's something happens that's so good. So for some people, they'll cry. They'll cry. They'll because out of joy, out of happiness. But you can't do that. You can't do that because you're being weak. You're showing people that you're weak, and when you show people you're weak, they will take advantage of you. So you can't even do that. You can't even be happy about something. You know, seeing a fucking long lost friend or some shit, you know what I mean? Or anything that brings you fucking joy, enough joy where you can fucking cry, will break you down. If you shed a tear, you cannot do that. Don't shed a tear, don't cry. Even if you're happy, it doesn't matter. You don't shed tears because it's weakness, and people will take advantage of you if you're weak. These are the things that I was taught by all the things I was going through as a kid. And so like going through what I'm going through now. Okay, stage 4 cancer. I've never really. I mean, when they told me, did it bring a tear to my eyes? Yes, but I didn't break. You see, and it's still to this point, I'm still making right now. Even right now, I'm still making these fucking excuses because it bothers me to know that I even shed a fucking tear for this shit. You know what I mean? And then, like you say, I want to say about 2 months ago, maybe about a month and a half ago. A friend of mine was here. We were having a good time drinking and shit like that. And it didn't finally get to me, but you know, me, him, and my wife were here. We're talking, and I finally broke. Not, I don't know. I can't say I finally broke. You know what I mean? It just, yeah, I did break. You know what I mean? The, the fucked up part about it, the fucked up part about that situation and other situations before, any time in my life where whether it was out of happiness or it was out of sadness, if I fucking shedded a tear in front of anyone, including my wife, my friend that was here, my friend Archie, for days, it takes me days to get over that. Because I feel you fucked up. You fucked up and you showed weakness. Okay, like a friend, if there's a friend, in my eyes, not saying this is what he thinks. I'm saying in my own eyes, I think to myself for days. It takes me days, believe me. I sit down and I think about it. And I say, man, you stupid motherfucker. he could take advantage of you now because you showed him weakness. You showed him that you're fucking weak. And for those days, in my mind, to counteract that feeling, I think about hurting other people. And I think to myself, nobody better fucking step to me for the next few days. Nobody better bother me for the next few days. If I'm at the market and you act up with me, I'm gonna fucking take off on you. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna do whatever I can to fucking destroy you because of something that happened with me. Because I feel weak now. I feel like vulnerable. You know what I mean? Even with my wife, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who it is. If I've ever broke down in front of my wife, or not broke down, because I've never been, nobody can ever sit here and say I fucking snibbled about anything. Again, though, see, this is how my mind's working. I'm making excuses for it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't sniffle, though. I might have shed a tear, but I didn't sniffle. This is the way my mind's working. And so, but even in front of my wife, if there was times where, we went to the doctor gave me bad news. Like when she told me the cancer spread. I didn't fucking snibble about it, but it did bring a tear to my eyes. Like, and so I gotta make up for that in my own mind. The old me, and I shouldn't even say the old me, because that's not the old me. That is me. That's the way that I am. That's the way that I think. For days, I sit and dwell on that shit. Like, you're fucking weak. You showed her you're fucking weak, and she's gonna fucking take advantage of you one of these days because you're weak, and you showed her that you showed that to her. You should have never done that. So I always do what I gotta do to never fucking show that side to my wife or to anyone else. To just say, it is what it is. And it's not like I want to. It's not like I'm sitting here saying like, man, fuck, I really want to break down, because I don't. I really don't. All the things that I went through when I was younger, it, like I said before in other videos, it has helped me for what I'm going through right now to accept it. It's all that. If you're gonna cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. If you cry, you're gonna get hit harder. You know what I mean? Take it. Just take it. Accept it. Learn to fucking accept it. Learn to accept the fucking pain. You know, like last night, I ran out of pain medicines maybe about fucking, I don't know, 4 days ago, 5 days ago. And it's been a rough few nights trying to sleep without any pain medication. I don't take pain medication during the day because during the day I'm fine. But at night, the shit kicks in. And I know my wife, she could see last night that I was very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I'm just tossing. I'm not even sleep. I'm not sleeping. I'm fucking with my phone. I'm watching TV. And she starts rubbing my shoulders because she knows, she can see that I'm moving around a lot. I'm in pain. My feet are fucking hurting. My legs are hurting. I ain't got no pain medication. You know what I mean? I can't take no fucking ibuprofen because that's not gonna help me then. Or Tylenol. I can't take ibuprofen because of a surgery that I had years ago. I can't take ibuprofen. I can take Tylenol, but Tylenol's not gonna help me none. So I'm tossing and turning. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm in pain in my legs and my feet and shit. You know what I mean? And I have no pain medication. They were supposed to give me some yesterday, and they sent me a text message saying, "Hey, your doctor sent a prescription to us. It'll be ready. We'll let you know when it's ready." So I called them, CVS, says, "Hey, what's up with this pain medication?" They're like, "Oh, we sent we sent the email back to your doctor. We don't have that medication. We can't get that medication. We can only, if you want to go 20 miles out of the way, then you can go pick it up somewhere else. But we can't get it within a 20-mile radius. We're out of it." And it's been like that. It's been like that for months now. I was on Percocets at night. Can't get them no more. They're hard to get right now. The pharmacies can't get them. So now they got me on Norcos. What do you call it? Hydrocodone. Can't get them no more. Within 20 miles from here, and IE, you can't get him. So I have to drive to Orange County. I have to go to LA and try to pick him up out there. Can't get him out here. So they had to send back the prescription. So that means I don't have no more medication. So here I am in pain, but I just gotta accept it. I gotta take what it is and just try to put it out of my mind and just deal with the pain that I have to go through. But again, you don't fucking show weakness. But like I said, my issue is if ever there's a time that I feel disappointed in myself. And I think like, fuck, man, one of these days that's gonna get me in trouble. Because somebody's gonna do something. Somebody's gonna say the wrong thing. Somebody's gonna bump into me the wrong way, and I'm gonna fucking go off on them. And I'm gonna go out of my way to hurt that person because that's how I projected my own weakness because of what I was taught as a kid. Like he said, like Emilio said in this video, I'll give you something to cry about. You don't cry. You don't show weakness to people. Take it and accept it. It has worked out for me through my life. It has worked out for me. So it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. And I don't think that I can't say that I can't let that go. But it's like I said in other videos about other things, it's just I don't want to let that go. I don't like I said before in the shit that has happened to me in my past as a kid. All the different forms of fucking abuse, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, sexual, all the fucking abuse. If they told me you could take it away, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to because I wouldn't know how to live without it. So I'm comfortable with the way that things are. I'm comfortable with not showing weakness to other people. I'm also comfortable with the way that I feel if that does happen, which it has happened. But I think to myself, like, man, it's gonna get you in trouble one of these days. Because you don't know how to let it go. Because I don't. I don't know how to let that shit go once it happens. I'm telling you, for days, 4 or 5 days, I sit and I feel disappointed in myself. I have to have talks with myself, like, you fucking idiot. What are you doing? Don't fucking show weakness to these people. They will fucking take advantage of you. People will fucking hurt you when they know that they can. And it's true. There are people out there that will do that. I'm not saying that's the way my wife is. I'm not saying that's the way my friend Archie is. Or anybody else that has ever witnessed me doing that. I mean, I can't really mention too many people that have. But there are people out there in the world that will take advantage of you. There are people out there in the world that will say, oh yeah, that motherfucker was crying. He cried, or he broke down in front of me. And, they look at you as being weak, especially when they've never seen that shit from you before, and they always see you as a certain person. And then all of a sudden you break to them. Sometimes in my own mind, I think like they think differently of me now. They don't look at me as the way they used to look at me. They look at me as a weak person. And so then that's when my mind starts going and say, okay, it angers me. It angers me that I show weakness in front of somebody. So now I got to fix that. I got to repair what I fucked up. which I really don't. But that's just the way my mind goes. Again, you know what I mean? Going through what I'm going through. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't. I feel like that. Yeah, I ain't got time to be crying about this shit. This whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Again, like I said before, I've been prepared. I've been prepared for years. I've accepted it for years ago. Don't be afraid. And if that does happen, I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen. I don't know. I'll find out in a couple of days what's going on. Monday's coming. Monday's coming, and Monday is the day that I'm gonna find out what the fuck is going on. Monday's the day I'm gonna sit down with the doctor. She's gonna give me the results of the scan, and I'm gonna know what's going on. And so I've been since I did the scan Monday. I did it on Monday. I've been preparing myself. You see, that's the way my mind works. I've been preparing myself since then. I've been talking to myself since then every day, at night, when my wife's asleep. I'm on my phone, fucking around, editing the videos, whatever I'm doing, looking for other topics to do videos, whatever I'm doing. At the same time, doing these things, or I'm coloring on my fucking phone. I am preparing myself for whether it's good or it's bad. I really don't care. You know, I think I've gotten to the point now where if she was to tell me like, hey, you know what, it's spread again. We're gonna have to do this. We have to do this, or we can't do this. We can't do this. Whatever the fuck the outcome is, whatever it is, I think I'm already at that point now that I'm whatever. I don't care. It's fine. Whatever you tell me it's working and we're going to continue on. I can go back to work next month. Or you tell me, you know what, it's not working. The new shit's not working. It's spread. You know, it's gonna get bad soon. We're gonna do what we can. Whatever the fuck she said, if it's not working, it's okay. I have to accept it because there's nothing I can do. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I have to have these talks with myself, all the time, especially with something like this where I'm going up for some news. It might be good news, it might be bad news. Maybe it's like, hey, well, everything's still the same. You know, do we just continue doing what we're doing? And that's it. But it's just, like I said, all the things before have prepared me for what is happening now. I'm very accepting of it. I'm very accepting of death, life, death, of all outcomes. And it's all has to do with if you cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. You know what I mean? If you flinch, you're gonna get hit even harder. If you flinch, you're gonna get hit even more. So don't flinch. It's all about don't show weakness to nobody. You know, um, accept what's coming, and that's just the way it is. So, that's the video. I seen what he was saying, and I was like, I've been through that. I've heard that so many fucking times before as a kid. I mean, probably heard a couple times a week. Don't cry. I'm gonna give you something to cry about. Don't move. You're gonna get hit harder. Don't move, or you're gonna get hit even more. Accept it. Don't cry. Just take it. Take it. And so I have for years. In his video, he was saying that when he was doing acting, he was on set and he was doing his roles, and maybe the role called for him to cry. He's crying in his own mind. He's saying like, "Well, I did it because I'm acting," but deep inside, he knew he was letting out everything that he had went through in his life. I don't know. I'm not an actor, so I don't know. But I mean, so him being able to act and cry in his roles gave him that opportunity to let things out. I don't know if me breaking down would fix would. It's not gonna solve to me. It's not gonna solve anything for me. Me breaking down and crying, it just doesn't solve anything. I'm still gonna go through what I'm going through. You know what I mean? I'm still crying does not stop cancer. Crying is not gonna cure my cancer. So it to me it doesn't benefit me to do that. It does benefit me to just accept it, accept everything and just take it. Again, take it, accept it, take it, accept the pain, take it. You know what I mean? But again, I don't know any other way. And I don't want to know any other way. I don't, I feel like, man, I don't want to be weak. I don't want to show people that I'm weak, whether they take advantage of me or not. I don't want to show people that I'm a weak person. That's one thing that if they can't fix the issue with me, if the shit doesn't work and, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, a year from now, whatever, my body starts to break down and there's nothing they can do. I'm going to fucking die and I pass away from this whole situation. Nobody can sit here and say, well, hey, he was a weak motherfucker. He sat there and fucking cried all the time and shit like that. He always sad and shit. Because the thing is, that's another thing. That's another thing. I know other people that go through this, that are going through this. You know what I mean? And I can see their weakness, in it. And to be honest with you, when I see them being weak, and no offense to them, man, you know what I mean? No offense to them. This is not you, it's me. But when I see them being weak, I don't want them around me. You see, that's the way my mind works. I don't want you around me. I don't want your weakness around me. I don't need you around me. I don't need you trying to, bring that weakness, that weak shit over here. Don't bring it over here. I'm going through what I'm going through. You're going through what you're going through, but you're weak. You're weak. You cry about it. You know what I mean? I just don't just. I love you, but I love you from a distance, man. But keep your weak ass away from me. Keep that weak shit away from my wife. Keep your sadness away from my home. I don't need my wife seeing that from you. I don't need my wife seeing your weakness. You're going to be around me. Hold your head up. I know you're going through some shit. I know you got maybe a different form of cancer. You're going through what, like I'm going through it. But don't come over here with your weak shit. Because what I'm doing is I'm going through what I'm going through, but at the same time, I'm preparing my wife for if the shit don't work out. You see, I'm preparing my wife. I need her to stay strong, to be strong. Okay, like I went to a funeral like 2 weeks ago. My cousin passed away. Good fucking man. And I see his wife, who I've known my whole life. He's been with his wife before I was even fucking born. And I gotta say, I give her a lot of respect. Gailey, I have to give her a lot of respect because I was expecting to see her that day, which I haven't seen her in years. I was expecting to see her that day and to see her, breaking broke. Her husband died. She'd been with him for over 50 years, and I was expecting to see her broken, and I was shocked that I didn't. When she came out from the funeral home when I first got there, and I saw her, I see her coming out, and I was like, oh shit, here comes Gailey, and and I said, fuck, okay, I gotta go over there, you know, give my respects to Gailey, So I went over there, and like I said, I ain't seen her in years, and I hugged her and I'd say, hey, I'm sorry about Alfred, And she thanked me, and she was smiling and stuff, you know, and she wasn't all teary eyed or nothing. And I told her, I said something to her like, "Man, you're strong." You know what I mean? She says, "I ain't got no other choice. Gotta be strong." There was not a tear in her eye. She might have done that shit on her own, by herself, but she wasn't doing it in front of her kids and her family. She was just a strong woman. She stood there and I gotta be strong. Everybody else, you know, and I'm not saying they're weak. I'm saying that everybody else is breaking down. This is their father, their grandfather, they're really close, their uncle, whatever. So it's understandable. But you know, she was like, she looked like it was not affecting her, which I know it was affecting her, but she's not showing that in front of everybody else. She was very strong, and so when I saw that in her, I have to think about my wife and say, okay, all the things I've been going through, the way that I've been taking the news and going through this whole cancer shit, trying to fucking build my wife up to be strong. It's to be like that, to be like Gailey. For if anything happens, my wife is not there crying about it. Just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And she being accepting of it. You know what I mean? And if you're gonna fucking break, you do that shit on your own. But don't do it in front of everybody else. You know what I mean? Be strong. Stay strong. And so that's another reason why I cannot fucking break in front of my wife. I cannot show fucking weakness in front of my wife. And I'm hoping that if it comes down to that, where, you know, I don't beat this shit with people like what I'm going through. You know, other people, they get into a fucking car accident, they'll die instantly. They don't fucking know. But me, going through what I'm going through, if I start to get really sick and I end up being bedridden and all that shit, I'm gonna fucking, I know I'm dying. Every single day, you're dying little by little by little by little. I mean, it's even happening now. You know, let's be fucking real. You know, I have fucking stage 4 cancer. My body's fucking killing me. The doctors are giving me medicines that are killing my cells. You know what I mean? Every single day is be grateful you woke up. But, but you know you're going through that. And if I start to deteriorate, I know that I'm fucking dying little by little, losing weight, end up bedridden, all that bullshit like that. And hopefully at the fucking end, I'm preparing her, but at the same time, I'm preparing myself. Okay, again, all the things I was told as a kid, don't cry, take it, accept it. You cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. I'm thinking about that every time, every day. If it comes down to that, and you're fucking bedridden, and you know you only got a little bit of time left, don't break. Accept it and just go on. Say at the same time, I'm preparing my wife for the same thing. Don't break. Accept it for what it is and keep going on. So, anyways, that's the video. You know, like I said, I thought of the whole thing when Emilio Rivera was saying that in the video about, you know, if you cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. And it just reminded me of all the things that I've went through. I've heard that so many fucking times before in my life as a kid, and it carried on through my life, and it even carried on with my own kids. I never hit my kids, never. I think I hit my son one time, my youngest son. My other son, I used to whoop his ass, but he was a fuck up. You know what I mean? He didn't listen for shit. My younger son, I hit him once, and it's only because he came around the couch and hit me with a belt when I was laying on the. I can't remember why he did it, but I was laying on the couch and he came around from the other side of the couch with a belt and he swung it over the couch and hit me with the buckle right in my face, and I got up like, what the fuck is that? And I got him. I whooped his ass, you know, but. Other than that, I never really had to fucking hit my kids. I think I fucking put enough fear in them with words that I didn't have to hit them. You know what I mean? But I also did like a lot of that. You know, I used to put them on the wall. You know what I mean? I used to put them on the wall and make them stand there with their arms out. And I ain't talking about for 5 minutes. I'm talking about for like a fucking hour. If you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? So I would make my kids do shit like that. Put their arms out like that, then hold them out, and hold them out for like an hour. You know what I mean? Um, I think to me it was better than whooping their asses. You know what I mean? But I was never, like whoop my kids or I'm gonna give you something to cry about shit. You know what I mean? But I was trying to teach them something. You know what I mean? I guess it's the same thing. Trying to teach them like accept the pain, accept the pain. Don't cry. You got yourself into the situation. You fucked up. You're the one in trouble. Put your fucking arms out and hold them up like that. Don't let them down. If you let them down, then it hits you. So don't let them down. Don't let me see your arms move. Keep them straight across. I remember they'd be in pain, crying. It's painful to hold your arms out like that, but it didn't matter. Don't. I'll throw a shoe at them or something like that. But it's like don't put your arms down. It's all the same thing, It's like don't show weakness, don't cry, don't show. Just take the fucking pain, accept it. But these are things that I learned as a kid, so I carried it on into my life. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's my video for the day. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get the notifications when I drop the videos. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'm pretty close to only need like 100 people, I think. It's like I don't know, 110, 111. I can't remember to hit that thousand followers. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll be talking to you guys later on.